Good afternoon. My name is Mahesh Kumar Rasalingam. I represent Mindsprint, the technology arm of OLAM group of companies. Today we would present you the case study on one of the implementation that we have done for our coffee business in Canada, integrating OTM with the extended warehouse management solution from the SAP. And this is our third successive year representing our paper in OTM-SIG. I would like to take this moment to thank OTM-SIG members for the continued trust you have with Mindsprint and the OLAM group of companies. So, okay, so we'll have an introduction about what Mindsprint and what is our OLAM legacy. And we'll get introduced about the coffee business that we had done the transformation program. And we'll also introduce or explain the integrated solution that we have deployed with OTM and the SAP application put together. And a specific requirement for a third-party fleet management company, wherein we had to produce a weekly invoice for this fleet management company. And then we'll open to the floors for any questions. So, as I said before, Mindsprint is the technology arm of OLAM group of companies. We operate with three verticals: technology services, and I belong to the enterprise application services division of the technology services vertical. And we also have our managed services division who works closely with business on the business process enablement. They are the IEO, Intelligent Enterprise Operation Division, and the Security Division as well. And we were recognized as or named as disruptor by the HFS Horizon Report 2025 for the consumer packaged goods industry. And as we speak, a couple of days ago, one more report from HFS Horizon was released as part of the supply chain system as Intelligent Innovator as part of 2025 report that they have released. So this wouldn't have been possible without our collaboration with Oracle. My sincere thanks to Oracle team, Mahesh and Venki, for the continued trust and support they had with Mindsprint and OLAM group. So OLAM has its legacy since 1989 when it was founded in Nigeria for cashew nut business trading. And we have grown from there, the business ranging from nuts, spices, cocoa, coffee, etc. And there is a famous saying that 1 out of 5 chocolate bars that are globally consumed by the users are all procured from the cocoa beans supplied from the OLAM group of companies. And the coffee supplies that OLAM group produces caters to more than 100 billion coffee cups around the world. And the dairy products and the subsidiaries that are supplied by the OLAM group of companies are getting to your food plates with cheese slices beyond 50 billion cheese slices. Likewise, we have for every agriculture business. Back in 2020, there was a restructure or reorganization that happened in OLAM. The entire business was split into 4 different groups. OFI is the group that caters to the food ingredients business, and OLAM Agri caters to the agriculture division like farm feeds, cotton, etc. And we also have this entity called Nupo Ventures that takes care of new business opportunities within the existing business. And we also have the global holding company which takes care of gestation and divesting businesses within the OLAM group of companies. So, and as you know, Mindsprint is the technology arm that born out of the OLAM group of companies. So, I would specifically focus on the key logistic innovation that we have developed within Mindsprint. Back in 2023, when we presented our paper, we were presenting a solution about how we digitalize the PDF invoice copy into OTM through our own innovated OCR-based tool. Now, this specific tool has evolved beyond that with an agentic AI capabilities. This could do beyond whatever extraction of invoices into a digital copy. answering queries to the vendors in terms of payment that is pending. It could take 2-level, 3-level, 4-level matching of invoices and handle the approvals as well. So, and that tool is a proprietary trademark tool of MindSprint named as Sprint AP. AP is an expansion, short term for accounts payable. So this is one innovation that we have designed and have been using consistently across all our businesses. And we also have developed an agentic AI chatbot with the use cases catering to the needs of carriers when they wanted to inquire about the invoices and the logistics users for them to understand the spend that has happened for this month or quarter, and also to the payments team to handle the accruals and pending invoices. In fact, we have also extended its capability to interact with OTM to process any updates directly from the carrier use cases. And if you have any doubts on how we have built this prototype, we have Saurabh Barara from our team sitting here who would be able to answer to your queries on how we have developed our prototype model here. Saurabh is here in front, almost with me, yeah. And I think we'll also have to specifically mention about the Ocean solution that we have done. It's an exhaustive solution with an integration through the, integration with the ERP and the B2B businesses like carriers and other partners who are involved. We built our own interfaces to get the vessel schedules directly with the liners. And we also had the interfaces developed with Intra that handles the end-to-end process right from booking till the documentation as well. And we also have the integrations enabled with Project 44. So the reason why I brought this in innovation is those are almost a templatized solution that we can use it for any of our other businesses as well. So I'll move on to the next slide, but if you have any additional information that you would need on these innovations, please feel free to talk to us. We are here over here for the next few hours. If not, you can reach out to us via email. You have the email IDs with our OTM team as well. Okay, so MindSprint was born like a couple of years ago, and today as we speak, within a span of 2 years, we have added 55 plus net new customers across our technology services, managed services and infra and digital and cybersecurity divisions. And with an agentic AI first or AI first based organization, MindSprint always want to take the technological edge across all the businesses and service providing, services that we provide to our customers. So we hope to increase the pace and add more net new customers. And we have also looked beyond the OLAM organization and add additional net new customers in terms of transformation in their logistics or supply chain businesses. So that was the introduction about MindSprint and OLAM's legacy. So now I'll focus on the business for which we did the transformation program. So it is a coffee business based out of Canada called Club Coffee. It has its legacy since 1906. It was set up in Canada. It was acquired by OFI, or the Food Ingredients Division of OLAM, back in 2022. And since then, to align the Club Coffee with the OFI strategic technological system, the transformation program was introduced. So Club Coffee has its state-of-art manufacturing plant in Canada. One major plant takes care of roast and ground products. The other major plant takes care of single-serve pods, which are predominantly used in the brewing machines. Together, they serve to around 150 plus customers and 1,000 plus ship to locations within Canada and US. And their market is around 85% within Canada and 15% in the US. The customers ranging from food industry, e-commerce, and co-manufacturing companies, etc. The kind of products that they make is out of paper bags, fractional bags, tin cans, the single-serve pots that I have mentioned earlier. And they also have invested on sustainable solutions, having been the first company to provide the compostable pods for the single serve product. So now we'll see the business, how Club Coffee operates. So being in Canada, they get the green beans from the suppliers shipped from Europe into their third-party warehouses in the Canada, and those green beans are received in super sacks and are transferred to their primary manufacturing plant. Those are roasted and grounded, and the finished products for the roast and ground are prepared. The roast and ground work in progress products are again shipped to the second manufacturing plant, which primarily focuses on single serve pods. Together, they produce the finished goods and then store it in their own warehouses as well as third-party warehouses. So, apart from the finished goods and work in progress items, the packaged items that are needed for manufacturing the coffee are also stored in these warehouses. Once the finished product for the customers is ready, those are shipped directly to the customers. So, all the modes of transport typically are LTLs and TL that we had taken care. With the successful implementation of the solution in Canada, the business expanded in US as well, where they went into a contract manufacturing based model, where the green beans are again procured into the manufacturing plant, stored in the third party warehouses, and then shipped to the customers within the US. There are few cases where the customers in the US also receive the products directly from the Canadian manufacturing plant and warehouses. So this slide I will focus only specifically on the logistics challenges that they had been facing. So they had their own proprietary ERP system, which was fragmented, which is difficult to have the end-to-end traceability right from the order creation and material till the invoice that got processed. So that was one major challenge that they were having, and most of the activities were manual. For example, the driver workhours were written in a hand paper and then were used to evaluate the invoices that were generated out of those driver workhours. And the interaction with the carriers were all manual or email based. We didn't have any EDI capability. The contractual rates were also maintained manually. So there wasn't a system-based track of what was your historical rates to make an effective decision on what was your actual spend last year versus this year. And the finance team also had challenges in posting the invoices or payments for the vendors, where they'll have to review and rely on a third-party auditing company to do the matching and validation of all those invoices and then approve in system. And account payable system team also didn't have enough visibility on the month-end accruals that were very much needed to do the reconciliation and the month-end. So these were the challenges that they were having from a logistics system perspective. Together with this logistic challenge and then the transformation program objective, OFI, Mindsprint and the Club Coffee team worked together to set up a transformation program, establishing the SAP as the core ERP system, and OTM will be the solution handling the logistics movement. So as you can see, SAP being the core, we had the forecasting tool within SAP called IBP, and the production planning system called PPDS that was also used within SAP. And there is one more our own proprietary tool called CTRM that is predominantly used for commodity procurement, and this handles the green beans that are procured from the suppliers, and that module is called CTRM module that is also integrated with SAP. With other enabling applications around SAP, the core logistics was handled by the Oracle Transportation Management, and OTM interacts with carrier with the EDAs as well. Okay, so now we'll look at how we made this integration possible with the SAP's EWM. Until the Club Coffee business implementation, the previous implementation that we had done for other businesses like cocoa, spices, chili peppers, and edible nuts, we had the shipments planned in OTM, sent to SAP. That creates a shipment document in SAP. So that formed a key object with which the SAP was able to consume the shipment cost from OTM and then invoice the customers. So with the strategic decision of SAP to move away from the standard WM or older version of WM, they wanted to move towards the extended warehouse management module within SAP. So with that strategic decision coming into picture, the shipment document object became obsolete with the new strategic move of using the SAP's EWM module. So we sat together along with the SAP's product team, SAP consultants and our own OTM consultants. That's when we understood that we need a specific object called freight order, in short FO, in SAP to handle the end-to-end interaction between OTM and within the SAP's module. We'll see in detail how that object is a most critical one within our interfaces. So SAP sales order is created in SAP, that is interfaced to OTM. Then an outbound delivery is created in SAP, that is parallelly triggered to SAP's EWM module, that creates the outbound delivery order. In parallel, there is a freight unit that gets created in the SAP's basic TM. So the reason why the SAP's basic TM is needed is the freight order object is created only within the SAP's basic TM. And this freight unit, once it is created, it awaits for the input from OTM to create the freight order. The freight order is not created automatically, rather it waits for the input from OTM to create the freight order. So once the delivery is received, OTM does the planning, tenders to the carriers, carrier accepts the tender, and then once the shipment is accepted by the carrier, then OTM sends the shipment information to the SAP. So this screenshot shows a sales order with 4 lines. The shipment is planned and accepted, and that's when the shipment trigger happens. Okay, yeah. Okay. So you can see here, there is an object called freight order against the freight units in SAP, and that was created as a trigger from OTM, and this freight order will have the, okay. So this same freight order with the number series 40 has the details of OTM shipment ID and the corresponding carrier with which the shipment was planned. So once the freight order is created, then the warehouse team who sits in the warehouse starts doing the picking, generates the pick list, does the packing and brings it to the stage area. At each of these steps, they update the EWM module with the status that picking is complete and the shipment is ready for picking. You can see the picking activity is completed, and the status is updated to ready for shipping, and that status is again updated against the freight order. So the freight order object in SAP has this warehouse operations activity as complete fully. So this is when it triggers the next process where once the driver comes for the pickup, the warehouse team will have to generate the BOL and provide it to them, right? So without the freight order, the BOL doesn't get generated, and the next step here would generate the BL document for the driver to do the pickup, and once the BL is provided, the material handler loads the goods into the truck, completes the loading activity, and then the warehouse team completes the post goods issue in the EWM module. So you can see goods issue is complete, and the reference of freight order is present over here as well. So once the goods issue is complete, that update flows into OTM saying that the issue has been complete, and within OTM we receive, okay, so within OTM we receive the confirmed quantities or the number of line items that were actually loaded into the truck, and then we do an allocation of the shipment cost against the number of deliveries within the shipment. So once the shipment cost is allocated, that is again posted to the freight order. So this shipment has received the PGA and the cost is allocated, and that allocated cost information is sent to the freight order. The same freight order now has the cost information from OTM along with the cost details, like, I mean, this example has only the base cost. Typically, if you have any other accessorials, those are also added to this. The key point is, against the freight order, the same information is getting updated everywhere. So once the freight cost is updated, that's when the sales team creates the customer invoice, taking the freight cost component within the customer invoice and generate the invoice to the customer. In parallel, we'll start receiving the events from the carriers. We get the pickup, and the final event that we get is they have done the delivery at the ship to location. So this POD event that we receive against the same shipment with the mention of what is the event date and time. Once we receive the POD, the same information is again transmitted to the SAP and stored in the freight order. So you can see here, yeah, the same freight order that we saw here, under execution tab, you can see the proof of delivery along with the event date that is received. So this process completes the end-to-end execution cycle right from OTM till the SAP's part. So after this POD is complete, we receive the carrier invoice. It goes through the matching approval process within OTM and then gets posted to SAP for payment. Okay. So as you might have observed, before I speak about this slide, as you might have observed, the end-to-end interaction between SAP and OTM wouldn't have been possible without the freight order component. And that freight order component or the object was key for us to store the shipment cost and POD information basis which it has to be processed further within the EWM modules. So, yeah, one second. Okay, so this is one solution where we had a requirement from a third-party fleet management company who would provide a weekly invoice comprising the driver work hours and the rental equipments. The driver work hours is not based on shipments. They drive for a few hours. They also do the loading, unloading activities, and they also handle shunting activities within the yard. After the container is loaded, they pull that and then take it in the staging area separately. So their work hours aren't very fixed. So we had to work around a solution of how to handle this weekly invoices in OTM. So for that, the solution we tried was, there are around 6 drivers that are typically used on a daily basis. For each of these drivers, we created, on a daily basis, we created 6 orders. They get planned. So they get planned. So this is a screenshot showing the driver. The naming convention is set up as work order. These are not typical work order that we use for the fleet management module. So we created these orders for these drivers. Shipments are created against each of these orders and assigned to individual drivers. So, and then the drivers are provided the access to the OTM PWA app to clock in their in and out hours. So likewise, for the entire week, they would clock in the hours for each of those shipments, and at the end of the week, we create a shipment group and one consolidated invoice is generated out of it. So that invoice would have the component of regular hours that they have worked, overtime hours that they have worked, and the charges are applied according to that. There is also a fuel surcharge component that is applied above this. So this is one set of invoice that we have. In parallel, for all the stock transfer movements that they do within the Canada movement, individual orders comes from SAP to OTM. We plan them as zero costed shipments, auto accept tender, and for those STO shipments for the entire week also we create one consolidated shipment group and generate one invoice against that. So later we merge both these into one consolidated invoice so that we could post the invoice after allocation against the deliveries that are tagged to the STOs. So once this invoice is merged, that is allocated and posted to SAP. So once we built this solution, the issue or the challenge that we faced was, we typically do for a week more than 100 or 120 STO transfers between the plants. So what happened, each STOs has more than 10 lines as well. So together when we did the allocation of the cost, you had more than 1,000 lines of cost that got allocated against the orderlies lines. So when we posted this allocation to SAP, SAP had a limitation of around maximum they could consume only 1,000 lines of allocations. So we had to work together along with the financial teams, SAP product team, and we understood a very small thing, like it's not necessary that you will have to send all the lines. You will have to group the lines based on the profit center, cost center area. So that typically reduced the number of lines from 1,000 to around 200 and 300. So that way we never had a challenge after we did that implementation. This was one of the challenge that we faced and successfully running solution right now with the Club Coffee. Yeah, I'll just pass through this screenshots. Okay, so from the challenges, what we presented earlier, you would have observed the benefits that we would have reaped out of it, right? So whatever was manual paperwork based was transformed to digital. Whatever was the manual postings that the payables team did was automatically posted. The visibility of what was your monthly spend versus accruals to do the proper reconciliation, which was missing earlier, happened now through the automated interface with carriers and the approval rules that we have set up in place in system. And as we saw earlier, we also had successful implementation in Canada, gave us an opportunity to expand the business and the technology solution in this US markets as well. So together with this transformation solution, it was an enormous learning that we had throughout the 14 months of transformation journey along with the SAP's implementation that we had done. My sincere thanks to the OFI IT team and Karthikeyan here. He was the project manager managing the entire OTM program for the whole 14 months. I think I'm done with my presentation. We can take up for any questions if we have enough time. Otherwise, we are here to answer any questions separately as well.